without further ado, and I hope Tom's voice is okay. Tom's been sick for, we gave him a little rest there, that's what we were doing. Tom's been sick for a while now, I guess he had a throat infection or something. But he came out tonight as promised, and want everyone to please give Tom Morrissey, the state chairman of the Republican Party, a big hand.
Thank you. I like to see groups that get along. Yeah, you know, we disagree, but we're spirited and we stand on what we believe in, and we get ticked off. The one thing I can assure you that I can be sure of every day, and my wife Chris sitting over there and I wake up and we say to each other, well, who are you going to tick off today? I know that's a certainty, and it comes with the territory. I see that more and more as I go forward in my term, and it's an honor to serve as chairman of the Republican Party. But I'll tell you, sometimes, folks, I wish I was on a ship cruising out in the ocean or flying one of those sheriff's things. I have a law enforcement background. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm a retired Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal for the District of Arizona. And I'll tell you something. I was in a gunfight. I was working fugitives in Miami. It was a hell of a lot easier than that convention we just went through. That convention, okay, there's a lot of heartburn with it, and I think I've got the most. What happened with it, there was several things, and I just want to set the record straight before I get on to the other stuff as an update. Two problems. We had a lot of confusion with our CDs and our our voting areas, but mainly the congressional districts. What happened was 10 days, actually 9 days before the convention, the good old Department of Justice certified the lines, and we had to go with that. Preparing for that undertaking and doing it in 9 days was absolutely scary. That's something that should have taken 2 months. And even 2 months, we would have been challenged with getting the information in properly. It really was confusing. The problem was DOJ certified those lines, and we had to go with them. So that caused the tallying credentials confusion, and it caused that to be about 2.5 hours late. Then we had an actual slowdown in the vote counting, and we're trying to catch up with that, and it was kind of like skidding on ice. So the results are, we got all the business done until we lost a quorum, and then we couldn't finish the Republican National Committee women's race. And I'm working with the RNC now and trying to resolve that. But it's an RNC position, Republican National Committee position. So they'll have the final say. And we got all kinds of lawyers, we got all kinds of people scratching their heads, and we'll come up with some kind of a resolution on that. Bruce Ash, because he only had one opponent, that race was conducted and completed, and Bruce Ash got reelected as a Republican National Committeeman. We wound up with 29 delegates, 28 alternates. Those 29 delegates met last Monday night in headquarters and elected their committees, and they elected the governor as chairman of the convention, and a man named Paul Gilbert as vice chairman. And then they took over, and all of the honorary positions and all that was elected by that body. Then the term rhino got thrown around. Republican in name only. Okay, all over the place.
Where was that thrown around?
It was thrown around all over the party, all over. The word rhino was thrown around all the time.
At the meeting you were talking about?
No. It wasn't thrown around there. No,
At the
come
convention?
on. No, it was thrown around on the blogs afterward. So, but here's the deal, folks. I got one job. I got one mission, and I signed on for one thing. That's to kick Obama out of the White House. That's it. No more, no less. Okay, and I hope we all feel that way. Because Rhino, Republican name only, compares, the only thing worse than that is an I know. And that's Obama, American in name only. Okay, so when we go up, as we go forward with this election, we got to ask ourselves one thing. Do we want to defeat this guy? Do we want to save our country? Because unless we do, in 4 years, we will not recognize our country. You give this man 4 more years to do what he's done, and continue to do what he's done. He does not regard the Constitution. I don't think he knows what the hell the Constitution is. He does not regard that. He rules. He has the government under him is populated by czars. I believe that he's a socialist. I believe he does not love our country. And I believe firmly that the word and using czars really fits with him politically. Okay? Yeah, Marxism. Okay, let's call it what it is. Now, you all may not agree with the Governor Romney. He's our nominee. He's going to be our nominee. He is 1,000 times better than Barack Obama ever thought of being for our country, because he loves our country. Yeah? Okay. Would you rather have Barack Obama in the White House or Mitt Romney?
What's the difference?
A big difference.
A hell of a lot of
A hell of a lot of difference. Okay. Okay, there's a hell of a lot of difference. Okay, I'm going to tell you one of them. I'm holding in my hand a coin that my son-in-law gave me. A coin. He just returned. He's a captain in the United States Army. He holds the Silver Star. He did 3 combat tours. Our daughter did 1 combat tour in Iraq. Was in combat, almost got killed. My wife got choked up listening to the presentation here because we remember it well. Neil, our son-in-law, just returned. He gave me this. And I'll tell you, that's why we got to get Barack Obama out of the White House. For these kids that got maimed and got shot up and came back to this country. For this guy to be running the government and to be running programs, for what? Yeah. For what? Okay? So that's why I stand with getting him out of the White House. None of us get exactly what we want. But Mitt Romney's a hell of a lot better than Barack Obama, and that's just the way I feel, and no amount of shouting is going to change my mind. And hold on, I'll take questions at the end. Excuse me. The journey, and here's the deal, folks. I understand we've got to change. We got to change our government. You know, and I go back to an ancient Chinese saying: "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step." If that 1 step is defeating Obama, we got to make changes. We've got to get more conservatives. We've got to get all conservatives if we can. But that change cannot begin until we get this guy out of the White House. This has been going on for 100 years. This is not something that just started. It started back with Teddy Roosevelt. This progressive movement did. It's not going to change overnight. I know we all would like that. We'd like to snap our fingers and say, boom, it's done. It's not done. The election, and this election, God, and please God, that we defeat Obama, is just the beginning of the process that has to occur. You know, at my stage in my life, I've watched and I've heard many times, and said many times, this is the most important election of our lifetime. Well, folks, this is the most important election of our lifetime. If we lose this, we might lose our right to assemble. There's things on the horizon. You talk about some of these bills that are out there that are hidden. They're there. And this guy's waiting to do it. And that's the question you got to ask yourself. Okay, Ino versus Rhino. American in name only. Guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, will all of the veterans or people who have people serving in the military right now please stand and be acknowledged? Please stand. Please stand. Give them a hand. This is what makes the country work. These folks, okay? We owe it to them, I'm one of them. I served in the United States Army, and I'm proud of that. But it's things like that, facts like that, that make what we do necessary. And what we do, we have to stay dedicated, and we have to try to get along. Okay? Nobody's saying that we gotta love each other. Okay? But we gotta work together. And that's all I'm saying here. Believe me, we don't have an option. We cannot fail. We have the greatest challenge. We got a guy sitting down in Tucson named Carmona. And Carmona is who Barack Obama is tying himself to win this state, to turn this state blue. And they're throwing money into this state, and that's the way they're coming. They're trying to backdoor. I don't believe that Obama can take Arizona. But I'm telling you, they're going to try. And if we're divided, they're counting on us to be fighting like we're fighting here. They're counting on that because that's what they got going. If you took everything that they stand for, the Democrats, that party, and you piled it, some of you heard me say this before, to my left, you piled everything they stand for, all the principles, everything they believe in, and you took everything we stand for. I'll say on the conservative side, okay? And if you look, and you took that, and if we had an unbiased assessment by this media that's supposed to be unbiased, and if we had, if people were able to examine everything that the Democrats stand for and everything that we stand for, honestly, we would never lose an election. It's deception, it's lies, it's smoke and mirrors that help these people win. It's redistricting, the way they did it here. That's what they do. Well, let me tell you something. They're counting on us to be fighting with each other going into this election. I promise you that. They're disciplined. They don't fight. They don't fight in the open. They're disciplined. When they have candidates, if they're trying to take an LD, they run one candidate. We run 10. Okay? They beat us at our own game. We have to, I believe, as a party, we've got to be more realistic. We've got to be looking at races that we haven't looked at before. We've got to reach out to communities that we haven't reached out to before because we're ceding it to the Democrats. The Latino community. The Latino community is conservative. They believe they love God, they love their family, they love their country. We're talking about illegal, okay, legal. And they want good schools, they want a quality of life. The Democrats go in and tell them, oh, that's what we stand for. That's not what they stand for. If you were to take the possibility of these, from the Democrats' view, of illegal aliens ever having the right to vote, if that were an absolute, the Democrat Party would turn their backs on that whole movement and walk away. They want the vote. They want the power. That's what they believe in. They don't love the country. They love the power. That's what they love. And that's what they stand on. And we know that. But the thing is, you get frustrated. You say, well, how can we fight it? You fight it an inch at a time. The journey of 1,000 miles is a step at a time. But as long as you're stepping and not giving in and not cowering to these people, you're making progress. It's not going to happen overnight. We win the election in November, on November 6th. That's the ship turning around, just turning. Then it's up to us to make certain it keeps sailing in the right direction.